The ayes are 311 and the nays are 112. The bill is passed. Oh, one voting present. I missed it, but thank you. Okay. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The chair.
There is no way this House will ever be in order. This just passed yesterday. So it is a beautiful Sunday here in Moscow, Russia, and it's a beautiful Sunday, I would imagine, for the military-industrial complex in the United States. Wow, what a huge spending bill was passed yesterday. Overwhelming majority voted for this unparalleled spending for Ukraine, for Israel, for Taiwan. They nixed TikTok for some reason, because silencing a public speech platform is good for democracy or something like that. Yeah, so very, very interesting times. You know, I read the news today, and I was just amazed. I was just flipping through pages on either Telegram or X, and I was just appalled. It just finally hit me, and I decided, you know what? Let's just put some of these clips together and maybe show just how dysfunctional our political process in the United States has become. It's just crazy. And so I just want to read what's in this spending bill in case you don't know or you haven't heard anything. But let's take a look at it. So what's in this $95 billion package that was passed by the House on Saturday? And it's going to the Senate on Monday. The Senate's going to pass it. You know, President Biden's going to sign it. It's a done deal. It's going to provide, wow, it's just crazy, about $61 billion for Ukraine and replenishing U.S. weapon stockpiles. The overall amount to Ukraine for the purchase of weapons should be about $13.8 billion, you know, give or take a few. Ukraine will receive more than $9 billion of economic assistance in the form of forgivable loans. When's the last time you had a forgivable loan? When's the last time you went to Chase Bank or Bank of America and said, hey, I'd like a forgivable loan? Wow. About $26 billion for supporting Israel and providing humanitarian relief for people in Gaza. $26 billion for supporting Israel. Why? Isn't Israel a rich country? But we'll get into that in a little bit. More than $9 billion of the total would go toward humanitarian assistance in Gaza. Why do we have the need to send humanitarian aid to Gaza? They deny the fact that there's anything happening in Gaza, but yet we're going to send them humanitarian aid, but there's nothing going on there. You know, it's wow. 8 billion, and that's with a B, for helping U.S. allies in the Indo-Pacific region and countering China. Countering China, how? Not really well explained. More than $3.3 billion will go toward submarine infrastructure and development, with an additional $1.9 billion to replenish U.S. weapons provided to Taiwan and other regional allies. In other words, the military-industrial complex is the big winner here. That and the oligarchs and the government, high-level government people there in Ukraine. Yeah, they are just going to reap the benefits of that. And you got to ask yourself, how does this even happen? I mean, this is the United States of America. All of my friends, my relatives, people that I know, they don't support what's happening in America. They don't support this endless spending of just throwing money away. The majority of my family and my friends live along the southern border. They see this destruction of America, this invasion of America by 7 million undocumented aliens into the United States. They see this every day. And yet, if you listen to the pundits in Washington, they say that spending for Ukraine and assistance to Ukraine, and not only Ukraine, but Israel and Taiwan, is supported by the majority of people in the United States. But I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, there was a time when I was going to school, this was many, many years ago, but when I was going to school, I was told that the United States was a representative democracy, that the people elected representatives who would then vote the will of the people in their communities, in their jurisdiction. And we don't have that anymore. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in Washington, but there's very, very few that actually listen to their constituents. I just don't think it happens anymore. And, we now have what's called a uniparty. And I was listening to Steve Bannon over the weekend, and he had some really cool words to say about the uniparty.
So the Labor, Republican, and Democrat don't mean anything anymore. You have many people in the Republican Party that are part of this uniparty. They're backed by donors that are, at best, centrist to slightly left-wing Democrats. You saw that down in Texas. That's just a reality. Just so somebody has an R by his name is meaningless.
It's meaningless. You know, I am a conservative. I make no apologies for that. I do vote Republican, but I don't stand for what the Republican Party has become in America. It's the same thing. Democrat, Republican, you're the same thing. Okay, if anything, I'm MAGA, but we'll save that for another day. But wow. And, you've got to ask yourself, Speaker Johnson, Congress did something that they've never done before, and that was to dethrone a Speaker of the House of Representatives, and we replaced him with this Mike Johnson guy. This Mike Johnson who promised that he would release the January 6 tapes. The Mike Johnson that said, not another penny for Ukraine, it just wasn't going to happen. Again, another clip from Steve Bannon talking about Speaker Johnson. And just check this out.
That's where you are, and now this is a great unmasking. I mean, it's the neoliberal neocons versus populist nationalists, okay? That's what the breakdown in politics today. People may not think about it like that. Intuitively, I think in their hearts they know there's two different sides to this. This is why you have all these quote-unquote Republicans voting for this nonsense. Not one penny after Mike Johnson gave you his word as a biblical worldview Christian. A biblical worldview Christian. And all his thing, you know, quoting the Old Testament, leaders are raised up, this God raises leaders, all that, over and over and over again. Not one penny here going to go to secure the southern border. No interest in the southern border whatsoever. This is 100% to get money to the oligarchs in Ukraine.
100%. 100%. And not only that, you know, it seems that our representatives in Washington care more about the borders in Ukraine and the borders in Israel and the borders in Taiwan than the southern border of the United States of America. And it's just incredible. And it's like, what is this? You know, let's show this right here. What is this? This is the people's house. And they're waving. I don't see a red, white, and blue flag anywhere. Where is the stars and stripes? Where is it? Nowhere. Nowhere to be found. Just despicable. Despicable. Waving the flag of another country in the people's house, in the chamber of the House of Representatives. I guarantee you that does not represent this American right here whatsoever. It's just crazy, you know, and it seems that there's just this whole deal with Ukraine. You have to ask yourself, why is there this huge support, this appetite? It's like a hunger, it's almost like a sickness of some of these representatives and senators who just bend the knee, so to speak, to all things Ukraine. And there's this, I'm going to show you this clip here from Jason Crow. He is a representative from Colorado. Colorado, what is going on? This guy is on the phone with some dude in Ukraine. And the guy in Ukraine, you listen to his voice, you listen to this clip. He could give a rat's behind about what's going on. There's not 1 ounce of gratitude in this guy's voice. But just check out Jason Crow, representative from Colorado, and just listen to him and just how this guy is just fawning over this whole deal.
Can you hear me? Hey, good. It's good to see you. I just wanted to give you an update that I'm about to walk across the street from my office here in Washington, and we're going to take the vote right now. We're voting right now for aid for Ukraine to give you the support you need. So we're going to get this passed out of the House of Representatives. We're going to send it to the Senate. The Senate will vote on it soon. We're behind you. We're rooting for you. We're going to give you the support that you guys all need right now to fight and win.
Thank you. So do you think it will be passed today?
I think it's going to be passed in the House of Representatives today. Yes, I think it's going to pass in like a half an hour. I think it's going to pass.
And what's the next step?
Then the next step is then it goes to the Senate, which is our other body in Congress, and the Senate will vote on it probably Monday or Tuesday, and I think it'll pass there too. Well, we believe in you. We're behind you. You're doing an amazing job. Your bravery, your courage is just inspiring to all of us. So we're going to pass this bill. I talked to the administration. They're actually getting weapons and ammunition and equipment ready right now in our stores and depots in Europe, so we can surge it very quickly and get it to you.
Super. Thank you so much.
All right. Be well. Be safe. Slava Ukraini.
Really, thank you, Jason Crow, for inspiration and for this connection with boys. Stay together. Thank you very much.
We will. Thank you. Be well.
Really interesting that the guy is acting like he's talking to his girlfriend. I got you flowers. I got you chocolates. I bought you your favorite car. Look at this big, beautiful house I just built for you. Incredible. And you have to ask yourself, what makes a person who's elected from their local area go to Washington and just completely bend the knee against and away from the people of the United States and toward another country thousands of miles away? You have to ask yourself. It was very interesting. Have you guys seen the interview between Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson? Wow. It's a 3-hour interview, and I haven't seen it all, but I've seen enough. I've seen several different clips. And you know, Tucker talks about this capture of representatives and senators and probably many, many people in high-level government positions, this capture by the intel agencies. Very, very interesting interview, and I'm going to play a small clip. This is Tucker Carlson talking with Joe Rogan about the intel agencies. Very, very interesting. Check it out. Good question, Tucker. Why do we allow that to continue? Could it be that the American people have no power? I know I feel powerless sometimes because it even feels like our vote doesn't even matter. We cannot vote ourselves out of this dilemma. The dysfunction that has metastasized within the United States is just, it's too big. And I'm afraid that as an American, I feel that we can't vote our way out of this. We cannot vote our way out of this shit. It's too far gone. And of course, now I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying we're at a point where I don't think we can vote ourselves out of this. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't have a solution. And of course, I'm not advocating for anything. I am advocating for change, though, because America cannot survive for much longer with this cancer. This cancer will eat the United States alive. It's just crazy. And this whole notion of, we send money to other countries in the name of democracy, to spread democracy, to influence democracy, to bring democracy, and how the way they call the military, the military is the arsenal of democracy. Don't give me, if that's your interpretation of democracy, don't give me that. It's like Tucker said, give me a monarchy instead. Give me a king, or give me a dictator. I'll take a dictator over this fake representative democracy that we have in Washington. I'll take a dictator, even for one day. I'll take a dictator. Also, in this interview that Tucker had with Joe Rogan, he has some very interesting things to say about this whole democracy thing. It's just a lie. It just cannot deal with the lying. I'm tired. I'm tired of the United States repeating this lie over and over again. And they're not lying to the world. They're lying to you and me when they say we are a representative democracy. A democracy, that ship sailed many, many years ago. Okay. Yep. I'm getting off my tangent here, and the whole purpose for putting my thoughts down in this video. But got another question to ask. Where do you guys get your news from? I don't watch mainstream media. I do watch mainstream media news every now and then, like Joe Scarborough. I like to see him have these meltdowns. Rachel Madcow, same. It's entertainment for me. So, I'll make no excuses, but I get a lot of my news from Telegram channels and independent journalists. And I also get my news from X and Twitter. And of course, that may not be real, or not so much real. It just, there's probably some propaganda in that as well. But I'm just going to read something to you that I saw today that I thought was very, very interesting. And we're going to close out with this. But this is on X, Twitter, from Pepe Escobar. And Pepe Escobar, if you don't know who he is, check him out. Google it. Better yet, just go on X, and you can read about this. But he's got an exclusive story. It's a fascinating story, and I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying that it's fake. I'm just relaying this message and from this tweet. But he says, exclusive, the real story of the Israeli counter response. This is the counter response that occurred, I think, Friday or Saturday, where Israel decided to hit back at Iran for what they did and all that. But he says, from a very high-level intel source in Asia, not Russia, not China, although the strategic partnership, of course, exchanges at the highest level 24/7. This is confirmed and reconfirmed. It will be great to know that Cy Hirsch hears from his Beltway sources. Here we go. He says that Israel initially chose to respond with extreme force against Iran. That a U.S.-made F-35 was loaded with a nuclear bomb and was sent east over Jordan. The mission to cause a high altitude detonation over Iran that would provoke a surge in the high-capacity power lines, crippling Iran's electric grid, as well as disabling all electronic devices, an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, EMP attack. However, as the Israeli F-35 was leaving Jordanian airspace, it was shot down by Russian Air Force. Hence, the publicized version of the Israeli counter response was such a travesty. I mean, it was a nothing burger. In the end, all sides decided not to publicize the real news to de-escalate what could well turn into World War III. What an exciting weekend this has been, and what a travesty for not even democracy. It's just for freedom, for the sovereignty of all humans on earth, regardless of where you were born, of what passport you have. It's just incredible. Incredible. I am going to close with this, and this is another clip from Steve Bannon. He's talking about Israel, because Israel's getting a lot of money from this as well. And like I said, whether Pepe Escobar's tweet turns out to be true or not true, we cannot hide from the fact that Israel tells Washington what to do, and Washington jumps.
on the Israel, and the Israelis just start buying the weapons. It's a rich country. You got you get early pensions, you get free, basically a socialist country, kind of the way it runs. Very progressive. Hey, pass the hat around, raise taxes, and buy some American weapons. Do it this afternoon. If that's the issue, buy some weapons. Last night you had this, and very performative. I don't know if Israel sending a message that we don't need the United States and we can hit with impunity the Persians. That might be it. But there's something not right about this whole thing. The whole aspect of this, of the Persian front of this war, seems quite performative right now. I want to bring in Colonel Derek Harvey first.
Performative and something not right. Yeah, there's something definitely not right. Not right. Wow. What a weekend. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of the stuff that I read. But I could go on forever and ever. But I just wanted to put my thoughts down around what is happening in America that affects the entire world. And sitting here in my flat in Moscow and just wondering what the hell is going on in the world. All right, guys. Guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And we'll see you next time. Okay.